Like, I landed on it, I think, like 7 times in a row, and it just wouldn't let me ride away. 9 times out of 10, Carlsbad will not let you make it. But anywhere else, if you land on it first try, you're gonna roll away.
I've heard people like, that's it? That's all it is? And then you see them ollie it and they're just like,
you leave with bruised hips, bruised heels, bloody arms.
Hard to shoot, hard to skate. It's basically no good, kids, so don't go there.
Carlsbad, California, city by the sea, with its endless summers and a myriad of skater-friendly schools, has been a nurturing ground for many of Southern California skateboarders.
Every weekend we'd go down there on Amtrak and just skate all around San Diego, all the spots. And that was one of the spots that was just a school in Carlsbad, and there was all kinds of spots at that school too, not just the Gap.
I just was driving my car around one day and saw the high school and saw some kids skating. There's like a half moon bench out front, and started skating that thing, and then we just started skating around the school. And San Diego's never had a spot where you can just go and skate and meet up and skate, and Carlsbad was kind of like that. I didn't even skate the Gap first. We started ollieing the steps.
They got the 2 separate grass gaps. Those things have just been in session for years.
Oh, you guys gotta talk to Eric. Eric murdered it.
I remember we'd just go there and skate the small gap. As soon as you rolled into the grass, you're falling off anyway. So there's lots of old footage of people just landing stuff, hit mud, and then fly into it, you know? Everyone got all dirty, the board gets, you know, mud all over it.
One of the first times I really started skating the Gap was I went there with Deerdick and a few people.
It was after like a contest in Oceanside or something. And it's just, you know, ollies went down, and then, you know, I started to try a couple kick flips, and he started to try a couple kick flips. I just willed that thing to the ground and just put it down and just like, you know, like rode for a second and fell, and I was just like, oh, I got it, you know, like. And the very next try, Markovic nailed it. Even though it means nothing at the time in my youthful age, I was just like so heartbroken, like just like, you know, even though he fairly won it, I was so heartbroken on some like that was my cup, that could be my cover, that could be me, but no, it was Markovic, you know.
That was pretty much the first day, and then it was just on from there, you know. Everybody started dropping tricks. It was a pretty sick gap, you know. Still a sick gap.
The many challenges of the Carlsbad Gap have earned the respect of those who've been there.
The only thing that makes Carlsbad pretty gnarly compared to like the other main gaps in skateboarding, like the Gons or like Wallenberg or the Triple Set, is that wall at the bottom. Because it looks like the gap comes up to meet you.
The closer you get to the handrail, the taller the gap got, and the closer you got to the wall, the smaller it got. It wasn't much, but it was enough to where you feel the difference when you hit the ground.
And there's a big crack. It's far enough ahead, but if you're pushing, you gotta know that it's there and know what you're getting into, and then just do it.
You hop over this crack, and then you go flying off, and sure enough, there's the uphill curved landing with a crack at the bottom too.
It's sort of an uphill landing. No one really knows that, but it's like an uphill landing.
When you land, it just slides out. And that's another hard thing. You land so hard, you gotta stay straight. As soon as you lean back a little bit, one way or the other, it just starts sliding.
I've seen people ollie it and land perfect and just whoa.
Stories of near makes and slams are as infamous as the tricks accomplished there.
Sean Rogers just called me up like, yeah, you want to shoot? My crank landed on an ollie hard flip. I swear to this day, if there was no uphill, a lot more tricks would have gone down.
I went there with James Craig one day, and he was trying to get a switch hard flip down it, and he was landing on it so good. And just uphill landing got him again.
So I was with Kane Gale a couple times on backside flips when he was trying them. Just devastatingly sticking every single time, flying backwards, you know.
More heads have been hit at the Carlsbad Gap on film than I can think of at any other gap.
I've hit my head a few times, I've been knocked out really bad one time. I've seen it happen 5, 6 times, people get knocked out there.
I did one where like I 360 flipped it, whooshed out and hit my head. And like I'm still sliding as I'm coming up from hitting my head, you know, and it's just, it's really hard to deal with.
If you watch the footage of people slamming there, you can hear the bones hitting the ground. Like there's a sound and a crunch, like that's so bad. I think that's an evil gap. I think it's got a little mean streak to it.
Carlsbad used to be like this real ominous figure, in a sense almost, because it was like no one did anything down it except for the sheer basics. And then Jeremy kind of broke that door with his secondhand smoke part. Before that, it was just a few simple tricks, and he just opened up the doors for everybody. And then after that, it's become like a place where you can go and try like a harder trick that maybe you didn't think was once possible. I mean, he blew the doors right off.
Frontside 360 for the time was really out of control. Just on the strength that it was just like a man's frontside 360. Jeremy Ray's like the only man that's ever 360s things, you know.
All of J Ray's stuff is just so gnarly.
I watched right there as he backside heel flipped that thing and landed. Made it through the uphill landing, curved around.
I should give Alfonso Rawls little props for lip sliding the rail.
You know, you got the wall at the bottom of the rail, and the rail's got this kink on the end of it, you know, and to me that's way gnarlier than anything that's been done down the gap.
Danny's nollie, that was outrageous. When I saw that, I was like, no one did nollies over anything big. Like a nollie was kind of like something just getting explored, and he kind of stepped it up with that nollie over the gap.
Josh Casper used to go there, and he would just skate it like a normal gap, like even when he's not filming, just do tricks down it. I even went there and I skated it with him one day, and he did a 360 flip down it that day. Just threw it out there. He ended up doing a heel flip over the rail too, like over the rail and over the gap. I hadn't seen anyone skate it like that before, so that was pretty cool.
Chris Cole switch frontside heel flip. You guys got that? That like came out of nowhere, you know?
Brandon did that switch hard flip, man. It was like when he was pushing up to it, it looked like he might have caught something, you know what I mean? And then he was just like, you know, screw it. And just, wow. Some tight shit.
One of my favorite tricks that anybody did down it was just seeing Tom Penny's switch frontside flip like that. That was good and perfect. He was one of those guys, when he landed, it didn't even look like it tugged on him. Like, the uphill landing didn't seem to bother him at all. He just landed, squatted, and like got through it fine. At that point, no one had really known what he was capable of. And that was one of the first things that I remember seeing, just being like wow, this guy's really good.
As skateboarding evolves and skaters search for bigger and better obstacles, only time will decide if the Carlsbad Gap will continue to be relevant.
That type of obstacle is so rare these days because everything is so illegal and it gets just like attacked and destroyed and like it's gone before like 3 magazine issues, you know.
It's really up to the kids now that are watching the videos. People are really paying close attention to everything that everyone's doing. And it's really up to them if it's as important as it used to be.
There's more stuff to be done down that thing. I'd like to go back. It's not over. The session will go on.